this section, what we're going to do is we're going to actually sign up for a meet. So you can see, because this says sign out here, I'm already logged in. And you go to meets and events. Now you can click on these, but this isn't how you're actually going to sign up for the events, and sometimes it's a bit tricky. So what you're going to do is click this part in the header that's the top that says meets and events. Just click the top, don't go to the specific ones, and you'll see all the upcoming meets that are going on. So for the rest of this season, we have the Skinny Atlas meet on the 12th of February, and then the championship qualifier. Some of you will hear them talk about silvers. That's silvers. You have to hit a cut time in order to be invited to this meet. The Tiger Shark Spring Home Meet is for all of us, and we can commit to that. And then this last one is golds. That's also a championship cut meet, so you have to have a qualifying time in order to do that. So I'll just show you using my own account to just get the basic information on the meet. I click on the top, and the coaches and the administrators normally put in, not only is the registration deadline extremely important, but the description of the meet, so you know where it's being held. Coach Sean obviously put a note in here, like varsity boys shouldn't go to this meet. So you look for things like that. But what's really important, most of the time they're able to put the PDF in. The PDF is the meet file that comes from each team, and it tells you how many events you can get into, and it can tell you how the location, the time, the warm-ups. It also tells you how much it costs, and that's really important. Really important to pay for your meet before the meet happens. A lot of times the team has to front that, and it's a lot of money when you're talking over 100 kids. So really important that once you register that you pay pretty promptly so that your registration does go through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here. Now if this didn't have the form and document, I'll show you one in a second. You can go up here to the top. These are active links for USA Swimming and Niagara Swimming. So you would go to Niagara Swimming, and they actually do list all of the events, very similar to our tab that's sitting over here. There's an event tab, and you can find every single PDF as it's been released. So that's where this one came from. It either comes in an email to the coaches, or they can get it right off of the Niagara website, and that's www.niagaraswimming.org. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to just show you, this is what the PDF will look like. So 8 and unders, 13 and 14, and open swimmers. Open swimmers can be any age. It's really important to talk to Coach Sean and Coach Dexter and the others to find out what session you want your kids in if you're not sure. Obviously 15 and over, you're automatically an open swimmer. 10 and under, and 11, 12, a lot of times some of those kids will want to do some bigger races like the 500 or the 1650. Those are open type of races. So if you're not sure, just talk to a coach. They're happy to help you out. So it tells the date, it tells all of your information, and as you go through, it seems very overwhelming. As a new parent, I tended to print it out and highlight like I was in school. But here, like, can you see that it says limit to 5 individual events and 1 relay? In your notes section, you can tell Coach Sean whether you want to be in a relay or not. He'll automatically put you in otherwise, unless you don't want to be in one. So you just need to communicate that information to him. So here's the cost and the information. So that's the PDF file. You don't send money into the team, you send it into our team. There's a red folder that's in the folders on deck, or you do your auto pay through this app. So I'm going to X that out real quick and take you back. So I'm going to go back here, and then you can see I've already edited the commitment. My daughter's not feeling well, so she's not going to do this meet, and we know this. So you can see there's her name. We're coaches, so we're on there, but we obviously aren't swimming. All right, so you can see that Abby's already declined. So to do that, I would click her name. Now, if you've passed the registration period, this is what will come up. It has passed, but would you like to proceed? This is only going to let you see your entries. It's not going to let you change them. So if something needs to be changed, you talk to a coach, but most of the time that can't happen. So Coach Sean will try to get a change done if he thinks he can do it, but it's really just important to make the right choice the first time. With 100 kids, it's really hard to make changes, so we don't encourage that. But of course, if something comes up, my daughter ended up having to not do this meet, and we didn't know whether we were in the deadline or not. I just popped him an email, and he will take care of that. We know things come up. Sometimes you can't be there. The sooner we know that, the better, especially if your child's going to be in a relay. Really important. So I'm going to go back to my meets and events, okay, just clicking the top tab, and this is Niagara Championships. Now my daughter has qualified for this, so I'm going to click on it because she's going to go, and it has all my information. Don't anybody call me at home, all right? And I'm going to go here, and I'm going to click her name because it's underlined, and I select declaration, and yes, we're going to sign her up. Now when you go in, it tells the location, and it tells all the information. the age update. Your child registers for the meet at whatever age they are on the first day of that meet. So for example, my daughter's 12, so she will still be swimming 12-year-olds. Her birthday's in June. If her birthday is June 29th, it is. If she registers for a meet on the 30th, she would then be a 13-year-old. So we age up the exact day that you age up, but it's the first day of the meet. So there are directions, and relays are by the coaches. But if you can't do a relay, we need to know that. And so you can see the ones that are grayed out, okay, I can click, and then that means I'm registering her for it, okay? And then over here, once this is closed out, it will show whether the coach approved it or not. So for example, my daughter has not qualified in the 200 breaststroke, not an event she would ever want to swim. So if I go to click this, I can't put her in it. It won't let me. It says click here, but do you see how it doesn't turn yellow? So here, she's going to probably do the 100 back at this meet, and the 50 free, and whatnot. So that's how you register her, okay? Then you go to the bottom, and way over here on the very bottom, once you scroll, it says Save Changes. Once you save that, it's good. Now you can make changes up to the registration deadline. So if I register my child for the 50 free, and she looks at me and says, Mom, I'm not doing the 50 free. I can't do that. Not this time. I want to do it at a different meet. I can go in and change, but once it's past the registration deadline, you can't change those events, okay? The other thing is to pay attention. There are multiple days to meet sometimes. So that says day 3, session 6. That's really important because if I go back to that PDF file that opened up, it gives me an idea of when I'm swimming. There are rules. IE is individual event, REL is relay. So combined, I can do 5. She can do 5 events here. I'm not going to max her out. I'm not going to put her in that many, but I can if I want to. That's really important if you're not sure and you're a new swimmer. Talk to Coach Sean. He's really good about telling you what events he recommends and whether he thinks you should do the maximum amount. And don't forget, each race does cost money, so you got to make sure that as parents you know how much that's going to cost you, because sometimes you go to championships. This meet right here might cost me about $75 to $80 without the hotel. So be prepared for those and make sure you know how much you're spending as well. So as you go through, these are the cut times. You'll only see these on the championship type of meets because you have to qualify. For this one, if they've hit a gold time, they're not allowed to go to silvers. All right, so really, really important that you take the time to go through this. Make sure you hit save on the bottom. We're not going to save Abby today because I haven't talked with her about her events yet, and that's a conversation we normally have. So I'm just going to exit, back out, and then back into where my other events are. So, for example, on the one, we'll show you our meet. Do you see how the form and document isn't there yet? We have not posted our actual PDF that tells you all the information from our meet yet. So that's why it's not attached yet. And if I went into Niagara, all I did was click that button and it'll take me right there. And I go into events, and we are in this part here, the top one. And you go down. So this is the whole year. So watch your eyes, I'm going to scroll pretty quickly. And we're looking at our meet being, and you will see Mets come up somewhere. I probably went right by it actually. Yeah, I did. There it is. Okay, this is the sanction number. There's our meet. Mrs. Clark, who is one of our treasurers, she's also the contact for that. So you hit the PDF file there. It's there, it just hasn't been uploaded into ours yet. So you can always find it there in case it has been uploaded, and it'll give all the information. Okay? If you have any questions, like always, you can ask the coaches. You can talk to Mrs. Zedak, she's the president. Talk to any of the board members and they'll help you out. When I'm not on deck, I'm sometimes around. I'm willing to help. I'm Coach Raina, and I'm willing to help as well. I'm happy to talk with how to register you. But when it's really important is that you talk with Coach Sean or any of the other coaches on what events you want to do. You really want to clear those through Coach Sean if you're not sure what to do. All right, if you have any questions, get a hold of a coach or a board member.